Fall doesn't officially begin until Sunday, but we're already starting to see some of the leaves change colors.
That's right. We were talking about I was in the White Mountains, and I could already see not only some leaves on the ground, but when I was on top of some of the 4,000 footers looking down, I'm like, there's a big patch there, there's a big patch over there. It's all over the place.
It is. Yeah. Well, the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry is anticipating a brilliant season.
Here to explain is a fall foliage spokesperson, Gale Ross. And first of all, Gale, thanks for joining us. And tell us more about what you're expecting this year and maybe how the lack of rain might be a factor.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. I think we're shooting right out of the gate this year. We seem to be on track with tracking the foliage conditions. I did notice on my drive from Freeport up to Damariscotta yesterday that the colors are really starting to emerge. We obviously are getting our shortened days and our cooler nights, which do help the progression of the color. And, typically northern Maine start seeing peak conditions the end of this month into the first week of October. And I think that we are most likely on track with that. I don't think the weather this summer has hurt us in any way for the upcoming season. I think we had an abundant amount of sunshine with just the right amount of rain. Not in a drought condition, not in a rainy season. Obviously, no killing frost yet. So yeah, we're setting ourselves up for a typical, and I do believe a brilliant season.
Sounds like a good combination of factors. Now, the weekly fall foliage reports have been a tradition for 65 years. Is that correct? How have you seen a growing interest in them?
Well, I think that, speaking for probably from the Office of Tourism, the fall foliage visitation makes up 20% of our visitation to Maine during the shoulder seasons.
This is one thing. When I first moved to New England, I lived in California, Louisiana, Colorado. We've had the leaves change colors a little bit. But I remember moving up here and everyone talked about all the fall foliage. I'm like, oh man, it's just a bunch of leaves dying, falling, whatever. But then I'm telling you what, when I first moved, I lived in New Hampshire. Then I moved to Maine and I've been to Vermont. Man, it is just unbelievable. And I think just blows people's mind how special it is, like even for you, to just driving and seeing some of the colors. I mean, I was driving from Wyndham the other day, and I looked down. I'm like, oh my, it is so beautiful.
Well, and let's keep in mind that Maine has 10 million acres of forest, and we obviously have the beautiful coastline where, quote, the mountain meets the sea. So, what can we say? It's a very charming, magical place, especially in the fall, when the leaves start changing.
Yeah, let's talk about leaf peeping. How popular do you feel like it's become across the state?
Oh, I think very popular. And I also think, people are very resourceful in planning their own fall foliage experience by using the tools that we offer. Social media, obviously the weekly fall foliage reports. So it's very popular. For both our visitors near and far.
Gale, there's a few places that I like to go, but one of them is Pleasant Mountain, where they have the ski resort. It's just spectacular. When you go by it, you can park near the road or whatever, and just see it looks like a postcard. There's a couple other spots I like to go to. What are maybe some spots, not necessarily secret spots, or whatever that you think is just amazing to go watch some of the fall colors?
I'm always asked this question, and I guess what I really want to say is Maine. I don't want to pick a spot. I mean, our state parks offer hiking and canoeing, kayaking, nature walks with forest rangers. So, yeah, I guess if you really wanted me to pinpoint something, I know that a lot of our state parks, especially the Western Mountains of Maine, are just spectacular during the season.
And there are some great resources on your website I've seen with some tips for where you can see the foliage and, look ahead at where these areas are probably going to hit peak and when. Can you remind everyone of your website where they can learn more?
Yes, it's mainefoliage.com. And folks can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, and every Wednesday, is that correct, that these weekly reports?
Yes,
Perfect.
every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, the report is updated. And actually, I start working on it at 5 o'clock this morning.
All right. Well, Gale, I appreciate your help very much. Thanks for the information, and we're looking forward to the fall season.
Yeah,
Thanks.
happy leaf peeping.
That's right.
Thank
And
you. Thank you. It
Another
goes
good place
by
to
fast,
yeah,
so
right,
enjoy it.
Another great place to go too. It's only a third of a mile up, or 3/10 of a mile. Bradbury Mountain.
Bradbury Mountain, love it.